Good morning, comrades. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Nürburgring. I hope you all are having a wonderful day and slightly more wonderful hair day than I am having, but hopefully we can get it sorted soon. In any case, today's video is based on a question which was asked in the community section when I asked, like, hey, should we do a Q&A? And Victor Rosenbaum said, please talk about the vehicles that you have owned through the time. So today's going to be kind of the garage history, the cars that have influenced my life, so to say. Yeah, influencers, cars influencers, the cars that I personally had. And later on, we're gonna talk about the current garage updates, because there are a couple of updates planned and scheduled. Look at the fog, by the way, currently. Wow, like track wouldn't be able to be open today, definitely, because you cannot see anything. But as we will be driving further down towards Adenau, you will see that there will be less fog. A quick advantage over every EV, not only the e-tron S obviously, is that I don't need an external microphone. I can just be talking to you through the camera, because sound will be picked up through that. Anyway, let's get to the topic. The cars. First, the history of cars. The first car that I remember being sitting in was my grandfather's Moskvich 2140, I believe is the exact type. Also, my dad had a Lada 2101. Of course, every Russian would have a Lada. Well, my grandpa had the Moskvich. And the first car that I actually drove, very vividly remember driving, was my uncle's BMW E34 M5. I was 5 years old, sitting on his lap, and he just allowed me to steer. So he didn't steer himself. He actually took his hands away and was making jokes with my dad, because my dad was like, "Why are you doing?" He's like, "Ah, don't worry." He's like, "Ah, no, man. Like, look, he's doing well. Let him have fun." And obviously, he was accelerating and braking, but I was actually steering. So that car has a very special place in my heart. So who knows? Maybe one day I'll decide to buy one. Now. Oh, look at that, all those tourists waiting for TF to open. Moreover, my dad later on would actually have Opel Kadett back in the 90s, which was his first Inomarka, which is like a foreigner car that is like a name that Russians would give, because you either have a Lada, Отечественная marka, like really car which is like from the fatherland, or like the foreign cars. Nowadays, I don't think it's like really being used, but back in the 90s, it was like a really term. So he had an Opel Kadett, which was for us like a very big thing. And later on, when I would be moved to the Netherlands in the early 2000s, I was like, Kadetts are actually not that special. But hey, back then we were very proud about it. 2104 Lada, that's something that I learned to actually drive in myself. So the boxy Lada with the station wagon shape. And then he had a couple of more cars, but by then I would already have moved to the Netherlands with my mom. So let's jump forward to the actual car that I have owned myself. My first car was a Subaru Impreza GC8 or GTT, or the turbo it's not a WRX, however, because WRX is only like starting from Blaubai officially, I believe, and Bagai, etc. But that car was my first car, which I bought when I was 21 years old, so relatively late. I was not someone who's like, oh my god, as soon as I'm 18 or 16 in the United States, as soon as I can get my driver's license, I'm gonna get a car. No, I was actually a lot into scooters, something that many of you know. You can also find some scooter drag racing videos somewhere here on the channel from back in the days, and some stupid stuff I was doing, like high-speed wheelies, etc. But I got the Subaru, and immediately it went wrong in terms of modifications, because I bought the car with already gone brake pads and brake discs. So what do? You not replace just brake discs and brake pads, you put a big brake kit all around it, not only the front. Also different suspension, because why not? You're kind of doing something inside the wheel. Well, anyway, might as well take the shocks out. So we put suspension on. While we were doing that, I was walking around the tuning shop, which is JT Performance from the Netherlands, and I saw their time attack racing cars. I'm like, oh, that's cool, that's fancy. Ooh, those seats are nice. Can I get those as well? Ooh, that dashboard is nice. Can I get those as well? And the same day as I bought the car, which was I think June or July 7th, 2011, the first thing what I did when I got home is I booked myself a racing license course. So I was immediately on it. We also installed a white line suspension components, so all kinds of like sway bars and sway bar links and different trailing arms, etc. And there was some fault, there was some defect with that. Basically what happened, my trailing arm, I think the front lower control arm fell off. Yeah, while I was driving. I was not driving fast, so it was okay, but it fell off, and the car was out of action for quite some time. And it happened on a weekend, I think on a Saturday. And on Wednesday, I had a birthday trip booked to, back at the time, my girlfriend. For her birthday, I had like a surprise 2-night stay in Antwerp, and I was living in Tilburg at the time because I was studying in Tilburg University in Netherlands. I'm like, shit, I need a car because public transport in Europe is just non-existent. Yes, of course you have public transport, but it's just, no, it's there, but it's not anyway, let's not go there. Anyway, so what are you gonna do if you're a car guy, you don't have a car, your car is out of action? So a friend of mine was selling a Volvo S70, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna come and buy that car tomorrow. I believe it was somewhere around 2,000 euros that I paid for it. So I ended up having two cars. So it was the Volvo S70, and then the Subaru would be something that be modified to such a crazy extent that I would need a daily car anyway. So we had that. Then the Volvo S70, at one point, it burned a hole in one of the cylinders after me driving 200 on a German Autobahn when I was like picking up my mom and running late, of course, from the airport in Düsseldorf. So that was kind of like meh. Instead of throwing it away, I decided to put a new engine in it, or actually like rebuild the engine, which made financially absolutely zero sense because the car was maximum worth 2,000 euros or even less than that, but the engine rebuild would be 1,600 euros. So I did it anyway. And then while that car was also out of service and my race car was being built, I decided, you know what, I need another daily. So another friend of mine was selling a Volvo V70 T5, which was nicely stanced and amazing, and I bought that. And like 2 or 3 months later, I would be actually moving to Russia because I would be studying in Moscow State University. So I had by now already two cars, and then this Volvo V70. Now the S70 eventually I sold once the engine was being was rebuilt. So that was like a total money loss because I already had the V70, which I wouldn't need anyway. And the V70 later on got sold as well. And in the meanwhile, I also had an 850 T5 because we needed some work done to V70. So that's what I was doing back in the days. I was like, you know, it's cheaper maybe to buy a car because you can then sell it on anyway and gain your money back than actually renting a car, because renting a car is, well, it's too expensive if you rent it from a Sixt or anything, or yeah, it's throwing away money. So I might as well just have another car. Yeah. But going back to the Time Attack car, the Subaru, which eventually ended up being a 705 horsepower Time Attack car with 864 Newton meters of torque. So I had first this blue car, the 4-doors Subaru, and then the gearbox actually blew up when I was on my last lap of my racing license course. So sorry for the timeline jumps. When that happened, I'm like, okay, we're gonna rebuild it. But then I saw a chassis, like a body being sold with a full cage in it of a 2-door car, including 22B body kit, for I think it was 2,000 euros. It was a ridiculous amount of money if you compare it to today's money, because today it would be significantly higher. But basically those 2,000 euros, I think it was 2,000, maybe it was 5, no, I think it was 2, and that, or 2.5, anyway, somewhere ridiculously low in today's money. That alone, I would have spent more to put a cage in the blue car. So like, yes, we're getting that. As I got that car, the guy who was selling it, like, hey, do you want to have also another GC8, but kind of like a donor car for 300 or 500 euros? I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. So we got that. And to tell you the difference between like the Netherlands and UK, for example, I got that car and you need to immediately deregister it. Like basically when you put it on your name, you need to immediately say like, hey, I'm not driving the car, put it off plate, so deregister the car. I didn't do it because I was thinking like, okay, I'm gonna save like 50 euros or something on deregistration. I'm just gonna take out all the parts of that car in the next 2 or 3 days and then bring it to the what's it called, to the junkyard. We did that, but later on I got a mail from the government like, hey, your car is not insured, and the car that you have, so there's going to be 300 euro fine. Bro, I just bought that piece of shit that does not even have wheels on it. So it's a kind of a like small rant explaining to you how we're always surprised here in Germany how like you people from UK sometimes can get away with not having car taxed or insured because nobody cares about it there, or how easy it is to get MOT in comparison to other countries. But in any case, anyway, so I had that Subaru. Eventually, motor got blown up because we put it on full slicks and we did not have a dry sump system, which was extremely stupid of mine. And once we put it on full slicks, there was it did have the sump, like the WRC sump, but not the actual, well, like a rally sump with extra buffer plates, but not a dry sump. So unfortunately, the what's it called, the engine had no oil and it blew up. So that was pretty much like all of those cars together, the Volvo and the Subaru, etc. That was around 2014. Back at the time I was living and working and studying and later on working in Russia. So I sold them all kind of more or less because I was not here anyway and it made no sense for me to own them, and I got detached from them. And then in 15 I moved back here, and I did not have a car. I always had company cars for the companies I was working for example, like the E36 shitbox, the rusty LPG shitbox with carbon fiber wheels. Wheels more expensive than the car, of course, but very good representative car. Later on, in 2017, got the Sub 7 Up, and ever since kind of didn't have any personal car. Even Sub 7 Up is technically a company car, you would say it that way. And then of course I was blessed and fortunate enough to have all kinds of press cars that I would be getting from Audi, like this one as well, or other vehicles as well, that I would not have the necessity to own a car. Even from personal perspective, I would always be able to get something from Apex, so I did not need a car for content reasons or personal reasons. But then I decided to go and work for Rimac, so I needed a car. So when I went there in December for my not recon week, but like to get to know the team, etc., and have the amazing Rimac Christmas party. Those Christmas parties are just known among car community as the wildest and the most amazing thing. Unfortunately 2020 couldn't happen because of the corona, meh. But anyway, when I was there in December, and I would officially start in January 2020, in December 2019, together with Christmas party, I got myself an apartment and bought the Ring Tractor, that car. Most of you already know the story of the Ring Tractor. Lots of plans, lots of things, and then eventually, unfortunately, the car got crashed in August. Was it August? Yeah, it was August last year. And then I immediately bought this current Ring Tractor, which has proven also to be somewhat pain in the ass, because there were lots of some hidden damages attached to it, which we eventually fixed and everything. So now that brings us to the story of what is going to currently happen with it. So we replaced the windshield, something I haven't shown it to you yet in any vlogs, but that happened yesterday. And today, this video is actually filmed today, so it's something just a regular flex today, on the Saturday, 6th of February. But windshield replaced, engine has been built now. Darkside Developments is waiting for manifold, which was lost by DHL for 3 weeks and now being found. So I think they're gonna finish the engine next week, and there's going to be a video on their channel. I'm gonna make like a reaction video when I'm going to watch it for the first time together with you as well, because I haven't seen the engine, and I'm excited to see it. Now, the Powerflex bushings have been shipped, so they should arrive here next week. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put all the old parts from the crash ring tractor on the new one somewhere next week or the following week. So all the bushings, big brake kit, seats, the new steering wheel, all kinds of things. Then we're gonna put the GRZ suspension on it, and then the car is pretty much ready slash done to be sent to Dark Side Developments. And that's where the stupid thing, the what's it called, the ridiculousness of it, let's call it that way, starts. Is because since we have Brexit and there is no free trade between EU and the UK anymore, and since because of the current corona rules I cannot just simply go to UK, because I would have the mandatory 10-day quarantine where I need to pay for the hotel in UK, and after on return I would have additional 14-day mandatory quarantine here, so I cannot be out of action for like a month. I'm not gonna do that, so I'm gonna ship the car there. But that's not that easy, because if you're gonna put the car on a trailer, it's all of a sudden not a transport, it's not a car, it's a good. So what needs to happen, the car needs to be trailered to the border, and then it needs to come off the trailer, be driven over the border as a car, and then be put on another trailer on the other side of the channel. Not the YouTube channel, but like channel as in water, when it gets to the UK, on a trailer again to be transported to Dark Side Developments. Ridiculous scheme and situation, but the car will be sent there then in the next 3-4 weeks once we have all the other parts installed, and then Dark Side Developments will start installing the engine. And then, depending on how the world situation will be, I will either fly to the UK, if I will be allowed to, depending on the restrictions, or again I will just have the car shipped back here and we will have it here a month later. But then another quick update, I told you I want to buy the i20N. I still want to do it. I think it's a very cool, exciting car. I want to have a Hyundai as well because I love the brand, but there is nothing known about the car release date. I asked Hyundai themselves and they say, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, so maybe I'm just like saying something what I'm not allowed to say, but I didn't sign any NDA, so they didn't tell me also not to say it, but they told me that the car is scheduled for release in the summer. So this means I need to have something until the summer. So I hate to say this, but basically I bought another car. Or actually I am close to buying it. I'm like, as of now, an hour ago, I sealed the deal with the owner, so unless something crazy happens, there is going to be a new car coming soon on the channel. And we got back to Apex, so if you made it till the end of this video, this is your reward for knowing that I got something else, and you will find out in the upcoming video what it is, and it's something very special. So thanks for watching, and hope you're having a great day. Let me know in the comments something for another Q&A. Don't ask me about the new car, you will see it when it gets here. And other than that, as mentioned, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.